Hello, it's William Johnston, and this is my library presentation. It's going to be a speech. Ever since the beginning of human civilization, libraries have existed. This is because having a centralized place for storing information is a requirement for society to progress. Here recently, however, the library system and the benefits it offers society have changed. This is primarily because of two events. Today I'm going to talk to you about the library system, how it's changed over the years, and why it's still important today. The oldest library that has been discovered to date, according to Britannica's website, is over 4,500 years old. Britannica states, a temple in the Babylonian town of Nippur, dating from the first half of the 3rd millennium BC, was found to have a number of rooms filled with clay tablets, suggesting a well-stocked archive or library. People of these early civilizations understood the importance of preserving information. Now, everybody here has probably heard of the Library of Alexandria. Between the 2nd and 4th century CE, it was estimated that the library contained 700,000 books. The ubiquity of this building is a testament to the library's significance as an institution. Now, while it was eventually destroyed, it set a precedent that caused the library concept to spread to cities across the world. Several events have had an impact on libraries throughout the years. The spread of Chinese papermaking processes was one of the first things that made more books easily accessible. Books, however, still had to be copied by hand by scribes. The invention of the Gutenberg printing press in 1440 was another thing that expanded the library system as a result of books becoming cheaper to manufacture. The first tax-funded, free public library in America was the Peterborough Town Library, founded in New Hampshire in 1833. The library that this report is centered around, however, is the Carthage-Leake County Library in Carthage, Mississippi. I got most of my information about this library from my grandmother and Nancy, the head librarian there. The head librarian, Nancy, has been working at the library for over 10 years. She said that the library was made by a man named Charles H. Stoll. Now, this is a very interesting story. He made a large donation of his personal collection of books and financed a log cabin to be built for the library in 1967. The people from town, however, did not like that he was from New York and the predilections and ideas he had. So they burned the building to the ground with all the books inside. The current library was built 1 year later in 1968 and was 5,130 square feet. It was already a part of the Mid-Mississippi library system at this time, oddly enough. In 1995, my great-grandfather, Mr. Ramsey, financed an addition to the library to make it its current size of 10,330 square feet. Gigantic, I know. Not really. The head librarian said that the internet has had a huge impact on the library's relevance. This internet began to take off in the 90s. The library began to be replaced as the primary source of easily accessible information and knowledge. The libraries, however, have pivoted and still maintain an important spot in society today. The ways the libraries maintain relevance today are through providing a free place for people to use Wi-Fi, offering programs for both children and adults, offering an event space, offering advice on what books to read, and offering books for free that would cost much more otherwise. Now, not everyone has Wi-Fi. Personally, my Wi-Fi is not very good. So when I go to take a test, I always do so at the Leake County Public Library. Not everyone, even in America, lives in a place where good internet access is available. For people that do live in an area with the possibility of good internet, not everyone can afford it. The head librarian told me a number of stories where this was the case. The library is an extremely valuable tool for people in this situation. Throughout my life, I've lived in numerous cities and visited probably upwards of 15 libraries. Every library I've ever been to has always had a place to sit quietly and quality Wi-Fi. except for a short period when COVID first started and all the government facilities in South Alabama were shut down. The head librarian told me one story in particular about a boy whose only way to finish high school after it became online only during the pandemic was to come to the library every day. He ended up getting into college and told her how much he appreciated the library's services, as he would not have been able to get into college without it. The library also offers programs for children and adults. I remember when I was a young boy, my mother would always sign me up for the summer reading program. I'm sure this helped me out a great deal in my early academic development. I also remember them offering entertainment events that were also educational. I remember one puppet show from when I was very young that was a lot of fun and taught kids to respect police officers. Now, in hindsight, this may have been a bit too propagandistic for a government-supported knowledge facility to do, but I still believe it's a valuable lesson to learn. For adults, the library offers programs as well. They offer computer workshops for older people that are trying to learn how to use a computer. And they teach computer illiterate people how to submit online job resumes. Now, this may seem pretty silly for people around our age, but I'm sure this could be a very difficult task for some old people that are trying to find a job through today's channels, which are mostly online. The library also offers an event space. I remember using this for a number of occasions growing up for both my community art class and the Teenage Republican meetings. I also discovered that there are a number of other organizations that use this space as well, including the Rotary Club, the local Women's Christian Temperance Union, and a local homebrewers association. The library is also an excellent place to go to for advice on books to read. Now, there are websites that offer free services like this, but I believe it is hard to beat a real person that you can have a real relationship and build rapport with for something like this. Librarians are in a position that makes them particularly well suited for giving advice on this matter. Libraries also allow you to rent books for little to no cost that would cost a great deal otherwise. College textbooks are very expensive. The right library can save students a lot of money if they are timely with their inquiries. There are alternative methods to get free books online, but even the most extensive online pirated book catalogs oftentimes do not have a book you need. I know when I wanted to read a book about business structures, because I saw it was a required textbook for a business school that I respect and am interested in, the absolutely only place I could find it within a 200-mile radius was at the University of Alabama's Law Library. Now, this is not a public library, but it's a library nonetheless. I hope this presentation has helped you learn a bit more about libraries and the value they add to society. Although the many factors have changed their significance over the years, as Nancy, the head librarian, would say, if there's one thing I wish people knew about libraries, it's that they are so much more than books. Thank you. And here's my bibliography. Oh gosh, that's backwards. Hang on. Oh well.